Alright, so a couple days ago, somebody actually asked me in one of my live streams if I can do a house tour video. So, well, here it is. So, we're gonna start off here. This is basically the main entrance. So, we've got this sort of hallway in between the entrance and the living room. So, we'll proceed. And over here, we've got, well, I'd say living room, kitchen, and dining room all in one. Here, this is where. Back in the day when I first got a PS3, my gaming setup used to be, even though it wasn't much of a setup. With that same TV actually, even though it looks quite modern, it's I'd say about 10 years old or something like that. So there you go. That's where basically my sim racing career began when I started playing F1 2010 stuff like that. Anyway, here we've got the dining table and the kitchen. We've got this thing in the middle. I'm not quite sure what it's called in English, but I guess it's pretty nice. Boiling hot water out of the tap. It's also pretty convenient because you don't have to wait for water to boil. It actually saves you quite a lot of time if you use it a lot, which I do. So we go outside then. Well, this is the garden then. As you can see, living alongside a river. Not much on the left here. This is basically what leads to the road over there. Fortunately, there is quite a busy road on the other side. So yeah, that's the view from this point. Here on the right is basically like a small way that also extends on the other side there to the main road, to the street. So there you go. That's the garden. I actually feel it feels so uncomfortable to talk while you are filming, because I feel like the neighbors there on the other side can hear me, because I'm not sure if they're outside or not. Anyway, you can see that's the neighbor's place. I've got a shower in front of the window. I wouldn't personally do that, but anyway, that's not my decision. We're gonna move on. It was probably better to do this with a post comment anyway. Well, have I got anything else to talk about? Don't think so, really. That basically sums it up for the main floor. Nice little fireplace there as well. Lots of keys. So we will move on with the rest of the house then. I may show you the room over there at the end of the video. Some pretty nice stats here from this house, because this is actually a former warehouse. So it was built in 1731. Actually, not at this place. It was actually built in another town. And it was actually moved across, like it basically was shipped to where it is now. I think at some point it was even bought for basically €1. Yeah, you can see here, in 1985 it was sold for 1 gulden, which was the currency that they used in the Netherlands back then, which basically equals a euro. So that's crazy to think about, €1. Anyway, we're gonna go upstairs. And if you've seen my previous setup videos, then this part of the house is probably familiar. You can see here a painting of my 2 nephews and my niece, because my grandma is a portrait painter, so that's why you will see quite a few paintings around the house. So we're gonna go into here, and you can see that this is where my setup is located. And like I said, this is probably very familiar because nothing has really changed over the past couple of years, I guess, ever since I got a PS4 basically. So yeah, you can see the PC over here, Thrustmaster T300. I actually stopped using the wheel stand. It's currently just chilling over there, because I kind of prefer using it without, to be honest. I think this desk is so sturdy that it's a bit more stable by just clamping the wheel onto the desk. So yeah, Formula 1 add-on as well. I really like this wheel. Really like the wheelbase, and also this add-on is great for F1 and open wheel style racing. You can see the chair there as well. And my other 2 add-ons, the Ferrari 599 XX Evo 30 Alcantara and the stock T300 rim that came with it. Over here we've got a bit of a kitchen. Nothing too special, but quite handy to have here as well. This used to be my mother's apartment, but she moved out a couple years ago, so I've now sort of taken over this section of the house. Here's the G27 as well. which I plan on using at some point when I'm gonna do some PS3 gameplay on F1 Championship Edition or something like that. Maybe F1 2010. You know, the T300 unfortunately doesn't work with these games, so that's why I still have a G27. I actually had a Driving Force GT, which worked with these games before, but I actually sold that to a friend of mine. Well, I basically gave it to a friend of mine, and he's actually still using it. Skiing helmet as well, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the setup, I guess. Behind the monitor are the two PlayStations, PS3 and PS4. You can see it's an absolute mess. I really need to sort out my cable management because it just looks atrocious. And especially when I'm trying to record the PS3, I actually tested it a couple days ago. You know, I have to change out things on the capture card and stuff like that, and it's just so confusing. I have to basically follow every cable to see where it goes, and it's yeah, quite a disaster. So we're gonna move on from that. Over here we've got the SRL F1 2018 Season 4 Championship winning trophy. As you can see there, really happy about it still. You know, really nice to have an actual trophy and a nice letter there as well behind it. Just so happy that I managed to win the championship that season, and also just, you know, to do it in SRL, a league in which I've been for quite a number of years now is really special indeed. So yeah, I'm really thankful for that, and it, there's a nice place over here on this drawer kind of thing. What do you call it? Can't really call it a desk, can't really call it a table. I guess you just call it a closet? I think so. So yeah, learning English with Nick van Gelder, there you go. Here we've got another door. This basically leads to a little balcony with a stair that goes down, and yeah, you can basically enter the normal street via this this stair here. So I sometimes use this, but I don't really use it that often, to be honest. Only when I want to leave or enter the house unnoticed, which isn't very often. So over here we've got another bedroom. Well, I think it's the first one I've shown actually this this video. So yeah, this is basically where I stay, and this actually used to be my old bedroom when I was very small. As you can see, this is an absolutely tiny room. My bed used to be over here back when it still was able to fit between these walls, but of course eventually I grew out and I couldn't fit here anymore. So I guess since about 2008 or 2009, something like that, I switched over to there. I will show you it in a second. Here we've got another bathroom. Again, the first one I showed. Pretty small, but you know, does the job. Shower, and yeah, like I said, pretty small. And unfortunately the mirror is kind of low there, so I sort of have to bend down if I want to use it, which isn't ideal anyway. We're gonna move on. So we've got another bathroom over here, slightly bigger version, and that door basically leads to that room as well. Now this is where my old room used to be. Currently it is sort of pretty useless, to be honest. Yeah, you can see this is my old bed still, but currently this room is pretty useless because, yeah, it's basically just a mess, really. It's not really used for anything, but it used to be my old room. I think actually before that it used to be a guest room, but you know, we've sort of well, of course, when I moved into this room, that was you know, we basically transformed this room into my room. It used to look a lot different. Like the floor used to be yellow and blue carpets and stuff like that. It was very different to what it looks now. But anyway, let me know what I should do with this room, because yeah, if you have any suggestions to what I should do, then let me know, because at the moment it doesn't really serve any purpose. Over here we've got this really nice cruise ship. My granddad actually made this for me. It's absolutely crazy. You can even take all of this out. Like I used to decorate it with little furniture stuff, and I used to put cars in it as well. Like you can see here, yeah, like everything, every floor. You can, fuck, I literally just threw a plane to the ground or something. I'm not gonna do it now on video, but like everything is detachable. So like every floor has its own. You can see all the rooms here. You can also put this out, and you can put the thing underneath that out of it. So you can basically you know, enter the entire ship, and it's so cool. Like, yeah, it's great that my granddad actually built this for me, because he just likes making stuff and stuff like that. But it's just, you know, so much work and so much detail, and really love that. I don't know if you can see much here. This is basically where all the cars are stored. I used to actually store a lot of my toy cars in here as well, but yeah, just wanted to show that. I actually, well, he sort of got inspired because when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I went with a Stena Line ship to Sweden, and I sort of, yeah, really liked that, so that's why I made it for me. So very thankful for that. Also made a ramp that I sometimes use with like toy cars and stuff like that. A bridge for me as well. I think it even says, yeah, Nick 2004. So he made this for me when I was 3. You know, it's just so cool, really. It's yeah, it's great. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the rest of the house. I think there's not much to show on this floor anymore. You can see this is also a painting by my grandma, me and my grandfather. This door is absolutely pointless because there's the desk behind it that's blocking it. So basically my entire life of living here, I haven't ever seen that door opened. So yeah, we're gonna go up another floor. And where should we start? Right or left? We're gonna start left. This is the, what do you call it? I can't quite find the word, but I'm sure you can see this is like the workplace where my grandmother makes all of her paintings and portraits and stuff like that. And there used to actually be a floor up here as well that like extended from there over to there, but you know, the trays where the paintings stand on couldn't fit, as you can see. So, and also for the lighting, I guess it was a bit better to take that floor out. There's still a slight bit of it left over here, as you can see. Here used to be an elevator because, again, this was an old warehouse. So yeah, there used to be an elevator here, but of course you don't really need that when you're living here. So yeah, apart from that, it looks pretty messy, but you know, who cares? We're gonna go up there in a second. There's a little kitchen over here as well. We can't really see through here, but you can see it over here. So when we go onto the other side, this is a painting by my grandfather. Actually, he likes to make paintings as well, but he doesn't really do it for a living. My grandma actually does it for a living still, and always has done. So this is basically, as you can see, a bit of a cafe. So my grandpa, he made this all by himself, like from scratch. It's really impressive, like all of these details. You know, he completely built this himself, and it's just, you know, it looks great, doesn't it? I really like it, and you know, who can say that? Who can say he has a cafe in their own house? I mean, it's pretty cool, isn't it? I don't have to go out. I can just stay inside and have some. Not that I'm going to do so, but anyway, it's still pretty cool nonetheless. So there you go. It can be pretty cozy in the evening. And well, I think it is pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it for this section of the house, I guess. So, oh wait, I want to show this as well. This is so cool. Again, something my grandfather made. Replica of the Titanic. These are some very old photos for me as well. But this also really looks very cool indeed. Even how he made the water like this with, you know, with paint. It's even like 3D. Because he just, yeah, made the waves like that. It's really cool. Anyway, we're going to move on. Hopefully my phone won't run out of storage, actually, because I am recording on my iPhone. And I'm not sure how much storage I've got left. Even though I've got 128 gigabytes, you know me. I managed to even fill that up. We're gonna go one more floor to the final one, I promise. Because this is sort of where the office of my grandfather is. Again, nothing too special, but let's just show it anyway. You know, old iMac over there. It's this actually used to be the bedroom of my cousins and my niece and my uncle and my aunt when they still lived here for a couple of years, because they were waiting for their new house to be built, because they're now living like over there about 200 meters away from here. You can't see it from here, but it's very close. It's like literally around the corner somewhere over there. But they I had to wait for that because it was a new built house, and so they stayed here for a couple of years, and which was really fun because when I grew up, I basically grew up living with my with my uncle, my aunt, and my niece and nephew, which was really nice. I mean, they almost feel like brothers and sisters for me, basically, because we shared the same house for so long, and still they live about 200 meters away from us. So you know, that's really nice to have your family so close. So we're gonna go downstairs again. There's still one room that I haven't showed you. And actually, fun fact as well, if we go in here, this is actually where, because of course, like I said before, this was an old warehouse. And so in the past, when it was still in use, they actually used a massive slide here to, you know, to move the cargo onto the ship that was being loaded. So that's pretty cool to think about it. They basically used this opening here to transport everything that needed to be transported onto a ship through a slide, basically. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, here you can see sort of a bird's eye view from the garden. So we're gonna move on again, and I'm gonna go downstairs to the first floor once more. Bit of a curtain there. It kind of looks pretty ugly when it's you know, hang up like that, but yeah, no, whatever. So we're gonna go downstairs now, where I can show you the final room that I haven't talked about yet, which is this one. This is basically the workplace of my grandfather. So as you can see, it's very dark. Somehow my iPhone 11 still manages to see a bit of light. It's definitely much darker in real life. Maybe even if I zoom in a little bit, it will. Yeah, look at it. This is actually amazing. Like, of course there's a bit of light from there, but this is almost like pitch dark in real life. And through my phone I can actually see it much better than I can in real life. That's actually pretty amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna turn on the lights. Well, you can see if you need any tools, then this is the place where you need to be, because you've literally got everything that you can possibly think of in every single size. So yeah, I don't really come here all too often, of course, but it's pretty cool to show you nonetheless. Yeah, this is where my grandfather likes to make stuff, basically. And yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like stuff like that, for example. This is a project he worked on. You can see all the internals from, like, I don't know how many PCs, but many. And he sort of made a massive board from it, and it's actually turnable, I think. But I don't want to break anything. I think it's probably stuck somewhere. So there's that. I mean, I really love that. I mean, it's just, you know, a work of art, really. Over here, well, a small little office kind of section, I guess. Lots of random stuff. When I used to take kids from my class over, like back in primary school and stuff like that, I used to be a little bit scared when I showed them this part of the house for some reason. Well, I kind of understand why, but yeah, that's a fun fact for you. I can totally understand why, especially when I said, like, hey, you can look over there, and then I just do this, and they're like, oh my god, get me out of here. So that's my story from when I used to kind of be social, I guess. You can see the road as well. Well, I say it's a busy road, but at the moment, literally nobody is driving on it. Oh wow, look at that yacht there. That's a pretty nice looking boat, if you ask me. So I mean, that's kind of nice when you live alongside a river. You've always got something to watch, I guess, to just see everything that comes by. And actually, now that I think about it, I can maybe also show you my mother's house, because that's where I also you know, spend quite a lot of time, because my mother lives somewhere else, and my father as well, but he lives all the way in The Hague, in a city called Scheveningen, which is about 100 kilometers away from here. So maybe I can. I think I actually did a room tour, you know, on the room that I have at my mother's place. So I can maybe update that as well. But anyway, and my grandpa actually made this for me when I was little, because well, obviously I couldn't reach for this knob all the way over there. So usually when I was about this tall, I used to try to grab this to open the door, but it was pretty difficult. So, you know, this is much nicer. So pretty funny to think about. I mean, look at how much lower it is. It looks kind of cute. And now actually my nephew is using it because he hangs around here quite often as well, and he's 5 years old. So that's pretty handy for him as well. And yeah, I think that's basically it for my 2019 house tour video. Don't think I've had anything more to tell you. So cheeky face reveal as well. What do you think of my case? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and hope you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully I haven't missed anything, but I think I've covered most of it. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And then I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.